I could have sworn, looking at the name of this band, that we had listened to them before, but I looked through all of my videos and I did a search and I couldn't find anything from the band. So I think that this will be our first time listening to the Icicle works. We're going to listen to this track, "Birds Fly," whisper to a scream in the parenthetical. We're going to listen to this track. This is coming off of their debut album, The Icicle Works, which was released in 1984. And this is a single from that particular album. Quite a few of you had mentioned this particular song, such as Jane Carnal, Jacques Bunetai. I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name. Juka Halm, Happy Me the Happy One, Steve Villeneuve, Gaia Eternal, Dave over across the ocean. Thank you guys for the recommendation. I've definitely heard of the band. And this being their most popular track, apparently their most streamed track, there is absolutely a chance that I may even heard the song, but we won't know until we listen to it. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll give it a listen, talk about it after a little bit. Whisper to a scream, birds fly. First. Doesn't sound familiar just yet. I like those drums.
Love come down upon us to your flow like water burning, with the hope of insight feathered. Look the colored with a bright elation stolen in the sight of love. We are but your children finding a way around indecision. We are ever helpless. Take us forever, a whisper to a scream. Birds fly in the eye of the faithless daughter, at the bitter
Got a mystique to it.
end, wasted. Sacrifice for a new nirvana. Nighttime sends us on our way. We are but your children finding our way around indecision. We are ever helpless. Take us forever, a whisper to a scream. 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 We are but your children finding our way around indecision. We are ever helpless. Take us forever, a whisper to a scream. We are but your children finding our way around indecision. We are ever helpless. Take us forever, a whisper to a scream. We are but your children finding our way around indecision. We are ever helpless. Take us forever, a whisper to a scream. We are but your children finding our way around indecision. We are ever helpless. Take us forever,
So the first thing that shocked me is the drumming. which of course is thoroughly maintained throughout the whole ride of this particular track. And the drums are going to be performed by Chris Sharrock, who's also handling the percussion. And his drumming is fantastic. It really reminds me of Adam and the Ants and how they kind of have their certain approach to the percussion and the drumming vibe in their music. And I'm getting something very similar here, which that torrential drive of rhythm that kind of brings about a certain earthiness, and it just relentlessly plays in its own pace. And I really enjoy that. I like how the drumming is handled in here. And then it's an incredibly anthemic song. We are, but like, and of course the number of times that they repeat that, it's certainly leaning towards that anthemic kind of sound, and I think that that's really cool. I really liked, however, the breaks in the music, not just the verse, which it was kind of cool that the first verse is just him singing alongside drums, nothing else happening. I actually really like that choice. It was a kind of a cool and somewhat unique creative choice, especially with the busyness of the drums happening there. I thought this was a really great way to kind of start off. And then, past the chorus, when it came back, you have some extra sounds underneath in the next verse, which I couldn't quite tell what it is, but it's kind of this, I don't know why, it's reminding me of like a didgeridoo for some reason or something like that. A whisper. Just before this. Here. It goes right there. That. Or like a deep vocal chant, like a hum, like an om, all right? Like it's something like that. And I like these little elements that begin to sneak and creep on through in the music. Of course, the guitar coming up forward, much more in the chorus and after that. And then the ending, get there, before the chorus, this brings back that musical quality again. And I really like that melody there. It's almost like it's invoking something very mystical at that particular moment. And we got a little bit of that previously in that moment I mentioned in the second verse. But in that section of the break, now it comes up fully, especially with the bass from Chris Lay. It brings like a stronger backbone of rhythm there. Ian McNabb on the vocals as well. This when did I say this released? 1984? I mean, like I said, this is their most popular track, or at least their most streamed song here on Spotify. And it definitely has that feeling. Like I said, it's incredibly catchy, very anthemic. I will admit, however, it's not like one of my favorites that I've listened to recently. It doesn't necessarily do anything for me. I enjoyed elements of it, like I mentioned. I really enjoyed, the vocal with the drums in the first verse, that little sense of something kind of brewing underneath in the second, and then going into the break. I really like those moments, and this part is my favorite. This right here. This is my favorite. But otherwise, it doesn't quite hit me too much. I'm not saying it's bad at all, just not necessarily for me. It's a fun song, though. Nothing to deny about that. Some things take forever, but with building bricks of trust and love, mountains can be moved. A mountain can be moved one rock at a time. Love come down upon us till you flow like water, burning with the hope of insight. Feathered, look, they're covered with a bright elation, stolen in the sight of love. We are but your children, finding our way around indecision. We are ever helpless, take us forever, a whisper to a scream. So I like the humility that he shows here. We're nothing but children. We don't know what we're doing. We're working around indecision, not knowing which way to go. We're helpless. So take us from something low and quiet into something loud and proud, so to speak. Birds fly in the eyes of the faithless daughter, broken at the bitter end, wasted, sacrificed for a new nirvana. Nighttime sends us on our way. Nighttime, the ending of something, so the night, the end of whatever this particular journey was. And it repeats the lyrics from there for the rest of the song. Let's look at the Wikipedia on this one. It also has a reverse title, Whisper to a Scream, Birds Fly, in some markets. It was released in 1983 as the first single from their album, rather. The recording was initially released as a single in the UK on the Situation 2 label. It hit number 2 on the UK independent charts and scraped the lower reaches of the UK singles charts at 89. And it goes on from there. Another release, the re-release of this particular single, climbed to number 52 in the UK. John Peel was an early advocate of the single and played both the A and B side during his show. The group's American label refused to release the record unless some changes were made. That's interesting. The track was remixed slightly in order to remove a brief spoken word overdub in the opening bars, which we did hear. As well, the song title was reversed, and Arista shortened the band's name to Icicle Works. With the changes, the song reached number 37 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and 34 on Cashbox. That's kind of interesting. Those aren't even like major changes. But apparently, I don't know. I guess they knew what they were doing in a sense that it has some success there. And obviously with the chart information, 19 Canada top singles, UK singles at 53, and 13 on the US Dance Club songs. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Don't give me the cold shoulder. I messed up my joke.
Please clap.
I messed up my joke. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you later. Don't give me the cold shoulder. Press